What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Make It and Break It. Today, our spare rotary is on rollers, which means we're getting serious about fabrication. I'm not sure why they're related. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Make It and Break It. My name's Andrew. As I sort of covered in the intro-ish area, we're starting to get serious about fabrication. Our Project HyperTenere crash bars are pretty much ready to go, so we can actually start building those, and we have some of that material right over here. But we have a problem in that a lot of our tools and the spaces we would use them are taken up by a bunch of this crap. So we need to clean up, get that stuff ready, and start building. So first things first, I think we're gonna get this guy under there, which means all of that crap has to come out. Awesome. Like a glove. Alright, now that this sort of looks like a workbench again, we're actually going to start putting together the last of our fabrication tools. Kind of around me here right now, you can only see some of it. I've got most of a tube notcher that we're going to have to mount to something. And this setup over here. So what I've got here is a portable portaband, Harbor Freight portable bandsaw, and a kit from Swag Off-Road, who makes a lot of cool things for portable gear and like relatively affordable tools to make them much more functional and useful items. This kit, for the most part, except for this, which is just a pedal that you can get from Harbor Freight, which you actually should get from Harbor Freight as opposed to the other places, because it's only like $7 from Harbor Freight, but it's $20 from everywhere else. So this kit allows you to turn this portaband into a bandsaw, like a full-on table saw bandsaw. And that'll be really helpful for us with a lot of fabrication. It'll be helpful for cutting tubes to the right length. It'll be helpful for cutting plate and sheet metal and everything else. So we want to get that fully set up here, which is pretty easy, I think. So those of you who are maybe thinking ahead a little bit here might be saying to yourself, hey Andrew, that's a lot of tools you have right there. You have a portaband that's going to be like a table bandsaw, one of these tube notchers which has to go somewhere, and it's going to be working on tubes, some of which, when you're talking about, you know, things like roll cages and such, are going to be very long. Behind me over there you can see a drill press, which is going to be handy for a lot of stuff, especially coming up soon. So you might be wondering, how are you going to fit all of this stuff in your metalworking area, which is theoretically from, you know, like here to my storage stuff over that way, which is only like maybe 6 feet of desk space? The answer is I'm not. So because we're going to be working on really big projects like roll cages, which require at some points up to like 12 or 14 feet to make a main roll bar hoop, the space constraints are a real concern. So the answer is a lot of this new tooling, specifically the bandsaw and the tube notcher, are not necessarily going to be permanently installed anywhere. And, well, when I say not permanently installed, they're going to be installed on something. Hold on, what holes am I supposed to use again? These instructions are really good, by the way. They're going to be installed permanently, just not in a permanent position in the shop. That looks pretty good. Oh, almost good. Testing. That works. I gotta say, this kit is really cool by Swag. So I haven't even installed all of it yet. This is just the largest part of it. And it comes with these nice plate mounts here and everything. And then everything here bolts into where the existing guard would go on your portaband. And then they even give you a little thing over here. And that's what the foot switch is for. Actually plug this, which is normally your power supply, into the foot switch, which is over here, into that back of the foot switch here. And then you plug the switch into the wall, and this switch will now actuate your bandsaw. Really cool kit, really easy to install, so definitely check it out. There's a link in the description down below for this kit if you're interested. It's definitely, I think, worth the money that you pay for it, if you're not willing to build it yourself or you don't have the time. So what's the plan for these couple tools? Well, the 3D printer right there is going and printing another one of our 90-degree squares that we designed a few episodes ago in 3D printing tools. And that should give you an idea. These things are going to go on their own cart. Alright. Alright. We interrupt regularly scheduled tool fabrication to test fit some stuff on our 3D printers. This video is going to end up being a little weird, I think. Not necessarily as coherent as my normal ones. I think my normal ones are coherent. Mom, you'll let me know. We just got a new fitment tool off our 3D printer, and I really want to get this done so that I can start getting this stuff built. This is a 3D printed fitment tool. Theoretically, it's modeled off of a mounting plate. So this plate would go and sit underneath here, hopefully. Looks like it might set up there nicely. And the idea here is a lot of skid plates use a secondary mounting plate to mount the skid plates. The mounting plate itself is what bolts to the motorcycle, and then the skid plate actually bolts to the bottom of the mounting plate. So this is using that kind of idea, and kind of designed it with a bunch of slots in here. So, but there's some slots here, and then it's got legs that come off the back like this that I have to go tape down, and then some slots over here, because the one things I'm not really super certain about right now are the heights of the front mounts here. So this will be on the front here, and then the distance back on the back mounts. So I created these things that should hopefully fit just fine on them, and I can take some measurements off of these pieces and locate these final pieces for design. Now, I'm not necessarily going to use a mounting plate like this. It would be fairly easy, I think, to get that done, because I know some people who could cut this out pretty easily for me. I wouldn't have to hand cut this out, which would be a pain. Or we'll just, create these little legs and just mount it straight to the frame. Not entirely certain yet. Mounting it like this would allow it to be easier to pull the skid plate off so that we could do work under the bike or change the oil, but right now the skid plate doesn't really interfere with that. Oh, and I brought this out not only just to show you what I'm doing, all that sort of stuff, but also to show you how not to 3D print something. So this is the second time I tried to 3D print this. This is the first one. I did a video recently about 3D printing smarter, not harder, and it's about printing large items faster and more efficiently. And I tried to do that with this one. That's why it's in multiple pieces, because the actual model is just one piece. The actual model just looks like this, right? It just looks like that, and then I cut it apart in the slicer. But I didn't position it correctly. So I actually, and the way I set these things up, one of these was sitting in kind of like this in order to print. So it was printing, you know, something like that. And unfortunately I overlapped these and didn't notice them. So it actually started printing this piece attached to this piece. So if you watch that video, and definitely do, it's some really good information on how to make use of your large format 3D printers. Do keep in mind your placement. You can't place the items inside each other. It doesn't work very well, and you get something like this, which is completely useless. So let's put this thing together and see if it actually works. I hope it does. All right, it's just a complete shit show today, apparently. I can't find my metric fastener kit. So I've got to run back out to my second favorite store, Home Depot. I spend a lot of time coming here because I always forget like a fastener or something. We're missing like a full fastener set at this point, so yeah, that's not ideal. But I wanted to check out and see if they have some specialty fasteners that I might not have to order from Fastenal. So let's go see what they got. Well, that was an unsuccessful trip. Next hardware store. So we got the fasteners, I think, that we need, but also picked ourselves up some free popcorn. So that's a bright side, I guess. Well, we got most of the fasteners. We didn't get a metric fastener set, so I might continue to go look for that. Okay, so we got everything sort of mostly fitted up, and found that, well, a lot of the things work. We missed something really big, because you notice back here, this isn't even close to where this red thing is, which is where the mount point is. And I'm pretty sure I know why that is, but I don't know how it happened. But you look right up here, this mount looks pretty good, and I've actually marked that height so I can then go measure what that is. And then on the other side, it actually looks pretty similar. So that height, this height's a little bit shorter on that side because the mount's a little bit lower. And then this mount on the other side actually mounts in because, like everything else on this bike, nothing is symmetrical from one side to the other. So this mounting point here and the same mounting point on the other side, that other side is back about, you know, 3/4 of an inch. So it's not perfectly ideal here for the setup, but the reason this one isn't fitting up, because the way I set it up is it should have fit up, you know, somewhere in here originally, somewhere in the middle, and then this whole groove here on the outside was really for the other side, so I can figure out how far back that one was set off. I somehow screwed up the model and mounted everything here about 1 inch too far forward, and I'll show you what I mean. So I designed the model with the intent of this going on here and being flush with this back edge. Let's see if we can't show this. Notice it is not in any way, shape, or form flush with that back edge. There's about 1 inch of clearance between the back edge of this, between the back edge of our skid plate and the back edge here. In fact, it pretty much hits right on this corner. So I somehow shifted this thing an entire inch, and oh, that's awkward, Joseph. Hi, hello. So yeah, I somehow screwed up this entire measurement, which means we gotta adjust everything forward, which actually will fit up this thing pretty nicely, because 1 inch or so, give or take, is about where we want it to be anyway in order to get everything all set up. Yeah, so this is actually pretty encouraging, and I think I'm gonna take a quick step away from the tool building stuff to finalize this so I can get this sent off and have everything start building while I finish up tools and things. Ooh, also I did want to mention I have updated this. I was doing some measurements and looking at the way these foot pegs rested on the bike, and they were looking a little bit like they were tilted up like this. And what I actually did is I took the bike and put it on the ground and then pointed this camera at the angle finder, and it looked like the bike was about 5 degrees off. So the way I had these mounted, and I think it has to do with the way these mounting points line up with everything, because in the CAD program, and this is why you've got to test fit everything, you can't just trust the CAD program. In the CAD program, that should have been level. But as I went and took it on the bike and put it on the bike, it wasn't actually level. It was about, you know, 4-ish degrees, you know, canted up, which would be really awkward for this seating position. So I went in and redesigned that and checked both sides, and then reprinted new pieces out here and adjusted some of this so that the alignment's a little bit better with the brake master cylinder. And everything looks actually pretty good. So I think we've finally settled on a foot control design, and these are gonna go off to the machine shop too. All right, well, you may be able to see behind me on some of these screens here and here, somewhere like that. I got pulled down a rabbit hole for fasteners, and what it's looking like right now is how we had planned to mount our roll cage, how we had planned to mount our crash bars is not going to fit with any fastener that I can find on the market, because these fasteners look like they are specialty JIS style Japanese fasteners that only the Japanese use. And I can't find anything long enough to account for the extra thickness we need for our planned mounting system. So we might have to go back to the drawing board for some of that. So like we're gonna cut it there. I got a bunch of research and design, and I want to get this video out to you guys. So ended up being more of a kind of grab bag HyperTenere video than the fabrication station video I thought was gonna happen here. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. My name's Andrew, and this is another Make It and Break It YouTube channel video. Like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube stuff. Definitely let me know if you got some ideas on where to find. This is an M12 by 125 JIS flange head fastener with using a 14mm wrench, which is very key for fitting in our as planned condition. So if you guys got any cool ideas on where to find this stuff, please let me know in the comment section down below. I need the help. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch y'all later.